They close the geta around your feet, and the lane takes you. You cannot run in them, so you leave early, down wet stone toward a warm door. You kneel. A hand you never look at lights a stick of incense beside your knee, and from that small flame every word you say tonight begins to cost. What no one laughing at this table can see, the more beautifully they want to look at you, the more you owe by dawn. The name they call across the room is not yours to keep. The man who could lift the whole weight off you is the door that locks the moment it shuts behind you, and the night they want you most is the night the number climbs the highest. You lift the shamisen, you smile, and you begin. And this is what a receipt looks like when it has learned to smile back. The lane belongs to the lanterns, and you belong to the lane. You step out of the okia while the sky is still bruised, because the wooden geta on your feet were made for a small, exact walk, and you have never once been allowed to hurry. The stones are wet. Your hem swings. Somewhere ahead, a door is already warm and waiting, and it will not care that your ankles ache. You learned the route before you learned to want anything else. Every night of your life, you leave for it early. A woman who cannot run learns to arrive before she is chased. That is the first thing this street teaches you, and it teaches it so gently that you mistake it for grace. Inside, the room is laughter and lamp oil and the small heat of too many people. You kneel. A hand you do not look at sets a thin stick of incense in a dish beside your knee and touches a flame to its tip. A single thread of smoke stands up and begins, very slowly, to bend. That stick has a name here, Senko. From the moment it catches, it is not measuring the evening. It is measuring you. Every song, every poured cup, every joke you land is priced against how much of it has burned. The guests think the smoke is only for the scent. It is a clock, and you are what it counts down. You smile and tune the shamisen. The smoke leans a little further toward the floor. Across the mats, an older sister works a table of her own. Her fan snaps open in front of her mouth. Above it, her eyes hold perfectly still. The men lean toward the laugh and never check the eyes, so they never see the arithmetic running behind them. She is counting the room. Who has drunk enough to book her again? Who is bored? How many songs until the last stick gutters out? The warmth pouring off her is real work, pressed flat and served warm, and it costs her something to make it look free. You watch her do it and understand the job at last. You are not here to feel anything. You are here to be worth feeling. Your turn. The plectrum comes down across the strings, hard, and the room turns its face to you. Your fingers already ache. There is a dampness spreading on the silk under your hand where you have gripped too long, a dark bloom you will pay to have cleaned. It does not matter. A silent room is a room that has stopped paying, so you do not let it fall silent. You play through the ache. You laugh on the beat. When your voice thins, you pour, and when the pouring lulls, you find another song. The incense keeps bending. Somewhere under the music, a small, cold sum is climbing, and the only way to slow it is to stop. Stopping is the one thing you are not allowed to afford. John, the best night you have had in a season. 3 tables asked for you by name, and the last stick burned to nothing twice over. You climb back to the okia, certain that a night like this must have bought something back. Okai-san sits awake with her book open. Her brush comes down beside your name, and the stroke is still wet when you understand which way it points. It is not a payment received. It is a fresh charge. The kimono, the hairdresser, the sticks you burned being wanted, all of it was advanced against you long ago, and tonight you wore the most costly version of yourself for the most hours. You earned the most, so you owe the most. The two climb on one line, and no knight has ever bent that line the other way. You wore yourself to the floor to sink faster. That is the trap you have been calling a life. There is a geiko 2 rooms down that nobody asked for tonight. You pass her open door and see it. She kneels at a table where the backs have already turned, her cup tilted over a glass that is somehow always empty. She keeps pouring anyway, to no one, because a woman with nothing in her hands looks like a woman no one wants. The smoke by her knee burns for a room that has forgotten she is in it. That is the other floor of this house. Above it, the terror of owing more each night you are adored. Below it, the slow cold of not being adored at all and paying for the silence yourself. Neither door lets you out. You only choose which one you stand in tonight. So you choose. If both doors are cages, you will take the loud one. The next night you lean into the table mid-sentence and let the whole room tilt toward you. You learn the exact pause before a name lands. You learn which silence to fill and which to let ache. Someone knocks over a cup reaching to be nearer to you, and the sound is delicious, because it means you are wanted, and wanted is the only coin this street takes. It works. The requests come. You tell yourself this is the way up and out, earn the demand, ride it high enough, and one day the number lets go of you. You have never believed anything so warm. You will not see, for a while yet, that you just fed the stick the best thing you had. They give you a plaque, a slim board of wood with your name cut into it, and your own hands lifted onto its hook by the okaya door, into the row where the wanted names hang. Your chest does something proud before your mind catches up. Look again at the wall. It is not a trophy shelf. It is a list of addresses, and yours has just been added, so the bills always know which door to find. The higher your name climbs that rack, the more of you there is to charge for. Pride and price are the same wood. You hung it there yourself, smiling, the way you do everything here, beautifully and against yourself. You watch it happen to the sister ahead of you first. A man comes to the ochaya door, asking for her by name, and the woman of the house raises one flat palm, and he backs down the step into the dark. He was not enough for the number she carries now. You feel the small thrill of it, to be so wanted that wanting is not enough, that a man can be turned away at the door for you. Then the cold arrives underneath. Being refused for is not protection. It is a price grown so large that fewer and fewer hands can lift it, and the day too few can lift it, no one will announce that either. Every door shut in someone's face is a door quietly narrowing around you. One night, an envelope slides across the tatami and stops against your knee. You do not have to open it to know the shape of what it means. A man in the room has offered to become your dana, to lift the whole number off you at once, to carry every stick you have ever burned. This is the top of the ladder. Every woman in every okiya is taught to hope for exactly this hand. The house holds its breath. The correct feeling is relief, and you reach for it. But your fingers rest on the paper and will not close, because some animal part of you has already done the sum the rest of you refuses to. A number this large has been the one thing telling you where to go for years. You are about to let a stranger erase the only map you own. It is done. The number is gone. For the first time in years, you wake with nothing owed, and you lie there waiting to feel free. You wait a long time. Then you rise, put your hand to the paper door, and slide it half open onto a morning that asks nothing of you at all. Your foot goes to the threshold and stops on the wood. You reach for the geta out of old habit and set them back down, because there is nowhere tonight that needs you in them. The debt, it turns out, was not the weight on your life. It was the shape of it, the thing that told your feet where to be at dusk. Lift it away and the day has no walls, and a day with no walls is not open, it is bottomless. You stand in the doorway a long while, then you slide it shut from the inside, because inside is the only room you know how to be a person in. You notice the hook before you notice she is gone. Where a name hung by the okaya door, there is now a pale clean rectangle in the wood, brighter than the grain around it, because the plaque that shaded it for years came down in the night. No one says her name at the mirror. No one says anything at all. Her dana simply stopped, or died, or tired, and the house did the only thing it does with an empty hook. It closed the row up around the gap until the gap was gone. She was a column of ink, and then she was a lighter patch of wall. That pale rectangle is a photograph of your own ending, and the house has already practiced the silence it will keep over you. There is a dance you have given 1,000 times. Tonight, halfway through it, the room tips. Your knee goes down onto the tatami before you have decided to kneel, and your free hand slaps the floor to keep the rest of you off it. Years of nights without enough sleep have finally sent the bill to your body. For one breath, the whole house sees you falter. And then, because it is the only thing left that is truly yours, the hand holding the fan keeps moving. It finishes the phrase in the air as though the fall were part of the choreography. You breathe, you rise, you complete the dance on legs that are shaking, and you do not let them see the shaking. The room bursts into applause, delighted, certain they have witnessed grace. Only you know, they have just watched something in you give out and be overruled. You bow. The stick by the wall keeps burning through all of it. Home before the birds. You reach up and lift the katsura from your head, the sculpted black wig the room requires, and set it on its stand, where it keeps its own perfect shape without you. Underneath, your real hair lies flat and damp and creased from the binding. The mirror shows you the face no guest has ever booked. No stick has ever burned for this face. No man has ever leaned across a table toward it. It is the one part of you that has never once been requested, and in this house, that means it has no price at all. You sit with it a moment. The only thing in your whole life that was ever simply yours turns out to be the only thing worth nothing here. Then you cream it away too and go to sleep as no one in particular. A grown woman arrives, new to the house, bright and terrified. Okasa-san sits her down and opens the book to name her, and you are called in to watch because it is an honor. The brush moves. The name she writes onto the fresh paper carries a character out of your own, the same sound you have answered to for half your life, lifted off you while you sit there still wearing it. You understand, finally, what your name always was, not yours. A brand the house owns, loaned to you for as long as you can draw a room, and now being fitted onto someone newer so it keeps earning after you cannot. She bows to you and thanks you for the piece of you she's being handed. You smile and say the kind words. Your name just took its first breath inside another woman, and you are still alive to hear it. Then they hand her to you to teach. You could refuse. Refusing costs more than doing it, because the house has ways of making a difficult woman expensive to keep, so you do not refuse. You kneel behind her at the mirror and lift her wrists into the angle it took you 15 years to find. You fix the tilt of her chin. You give her the pause before the name lands, the trick with the fan, the flat eyes above the laugh. Her reflection settles into place just behind yours in the glass, wearing your posture, holding your fan, answering to a piece of your name. What should turn your stomach is this: they are paying you, by the stick, to make the woman who erases you better at erasing you. And your hands are gentle while they do it. That gentleness is the vile part. You are a good teacher. That is exactly how the house wins. Winter comes into the lane and does not entirely leave. The requests thin. Not all at once, a name not called this week, a table that used to be yours going to the woman carrying a piece of your name. You tell yourself it is only the season. Then one evening you stand at the Okaya wall and let your finger go down the column of plaques, and it stops lower than it used to stop. 2 names lower, and you see that the column reordered itself around you season by season while you looked away. No one told you. No one ever tells you. There is no night they call you in and say it is over. There is only this: the arithmetic every woman here does exactly once, alone, in front of a wall, the discovery that you have been finished for a year and paid for every night of the finishing yourself. You are in the lane again, but you are not the one moving down it now. The lanterns swing and the heads turn, and they turn toward her, the woman you taught, coming down the wet stones in the walk you gave her, wearing your posture and a sound out of your name. The same men wait at the same doorway with the same warm faces. Not one of them is waiting for you. You press your back to the cold wall to let her pass, and she passes without seeing you at all, exactly as you once passed the invisible woman. You do not weep. You hold still until the lane has emptied of her, and then you walk the rest of it alone, in the small exact steps that Geta have always allowed you. And then, one ordinary morning, it is over for real. The last of the number is gone. No house owns your name anymore. No stick burns against your hours. You are free, entirely, the thing you paid your whole life toward. You put on plain clothes, no wig, no painted face, the face nobody ever booked, and you walk out into the daylight street as just a woman. This was supposed to be the ending you were owed. The crowd moves past you and does not turn. Out here, no stick is counting you, and so, out here, you are not worth counting. Everything you spent a lifetime becoming was priced for one lit room, and on this street it buys nothing. The walk, the stillness, the perfect poured cup mean nothing to people who never learn how to want them. You stand in the free air you bought with everything, and the free air has no idea what you are for. The door behind you is still open. It is the only place in the world where being you has a value, and it is pulling. So you turn around. Of course you turn around. You step back over the threshold. You spent a life trying to reach the far side of, and the room receives you without surprise because it never doubted you would come back. You kneel onto the tatami. Your knees find the old place. A hand you do not look at sets a fresh stick of incense in the dish beside you and touches a flame to its tip, and the thin thread of smoke stands up and begins, very slowly, to bend. The stick is burning again. It was always going to be burning again. Somewhere a photograph exists of a geiko kneeling in a warm doorway, elegant, wanted, lit from within, and people will call it a portrait. It was never a portrait, it was a receipt. And you have seen that photograph. You have looked at that face on a wall or a page or a screen and thought how beautiful, how composed, how fortunate she must have been to be wanted like that, and never once looked down at the number burning beside her knee. That is the side of the doorway you have been standing on the whole time. The smoke leans toward the floor. You smile and begin to earn what you already owe.